blessings coming into you in the near future. And on this channel, we all know that, I'm kind of an impatient person. So the near future is not something that's like 6 months away, 8 months away. This is something that's within the next month, maybe 2 months at the most, that is going to be coming in for you. So, thank you guys so much for whatever support you send this way, whether it be liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, leaving a timestamp, donation, hitting that little super thanks button. Each and everything that you guys do to support this channel and the work that I do helps me to be able to support myself, as I'm here to support you on your paths. And I really do appreciate it. Thank you as well to our guides for facilitating these messages, helping you to find them, and bringing us together in this community as well. Because you know what? I really appreciate this community. And so, we have 3 piles today. Ooh, if I can make sure that they're all in there. It's really hard to do this with my phone being broken. The only camera that works is the front-facing one. So we got 1, 2, 3. Take a moment to get in touch with your intuition and your higher self and pick the pile that you feel most drawn to. And if you guys enjoy this reading, remember to support the channel, as always. So, let's get started with pile 1. For pile 1, what blessings will be coming into you in the near future? Somebody may be defending your name or defending your honor in some sort of way. Somebody may actually step in to defend you physically as well. If somebody goes to put their hands on you or goes to harm you in some sort of way, or there's some sort of like domestic violence type of thing going on, possibly even a sexual assault or a break-in or something like that, somebody may be defending you in the near future. Somebody may be testifying on your behalf, or somebody may be helping you to dodge a bullet, or metaphorically or literally taking a bullet for you in some way. So we have Remington Mag, 65, RP, and we have this beautiful heart key. Somebody may be learning what the key to your heart is, or you may be learning what the key to somebody else's heart is. Some of you may be learning that you've unlocked someone's heart. Someone may be working very hard to unlock your heart in some way. There's definitely going to be a door opened up to a lot of love, romance, joy, happiness, and a certain connection in your life. This may be a new beginning, or this may be something that's been progressing for a little while. I'm feeling like a lot of you, it's going to be something that has been kind of progressing for a little bit, but in like a slow way. There may even be 1 or 2 of you where it's somebody you haven't seen in a little while, but things were kind of getting off the ground in the past, and then there was just some delays, blocks, or obstacles going on, and there's going to be something shifting to where things are going to open up to more possibilities. Jones Soda Company, your photo, your soda, your brand. Go and pet all the dogs. This was my reminder one day to go and pet all the dogs that I saw. To stop holding back from that and to go over there and say hi to the animals when I want to go say hi to the animals. Even if sometimes I feel weird or rude because, I'm saying hi to the animals more than the humans. So, some of you could... there could be 1 or 2 of you getting a new job working with animals in some way. You may be getting a new pet, or you may be getting to spend a lot more time with the pets that you have. For some of you, you might actually be doing something in the form of training animals. Some of you could actually be an animal whisperer. So you may be able to communicate with animals very effectively, very efficiently. There could be something to do with your picture getting out there, or your name getting out there, your brand getting out there. Some of you could be modeling in some way or something like that, and that could be taking off. There could be some sort of trademark or some sort of networking or business or something like that that's really going to be taking off in the near future. But if that's the case, that's something you've already been kind of working on and planning on and putting a lot of effort into. Even if it feels like it's not going anywhere, this is something that is going to take off in the near future, twist off. It's like a rocket ship launching. And that reminds me of, used to build a rocket ship and fly it to the moon. Now they're saying, wake up, you need to make money. So some of you, 41, could have really sacrificed a lot of the more physical pleasures in life in order to pursue something that felt more like your purpose and brought you so much happiness and fulfillment. And there might actually be some sort of monetary stability coming in for you in the near future, especially since we got this little money thing is right on the front of this. We got this guy with his empty pockets here. And then what was on the top of it, oh, there might actually be somebody very two-faced that's getting exposed in the near future as well, or some sort of contract that was false, or somebody's stolen work or something could be getting exposed, and you may be getting a large paycheck because of that. There could be some sort of court or lawsuit or something like that that could be getting worked out. There could be a letter coming into you in the mail or through email, and this could be bringing some sort of abundance your way. Some of you could be gaining more clients, or some of you could finally be finding out the identity of the people that have been working against you in some sort of way, and exactly what might have been going on in those situations. You're going to be feeling very protected in the near future. You're going to be feeling like everything that you've been working on and everything you've been growing in your life is really blooming to life. It's been a long road and it's been a rough ride. Rough riders. And now I'm thinking of regulators, mount up. So once again, there could definitely be somebody that's getting ready to step out for you and protect you in some sort of way, defend you in some sort of way, speak up for you, or possibly even ends up jumping in when somebody lays their hands on you in some way and ensuring that you are not hurt. Hi, Tori. Nice to see you. Yes, you can. And I will answer that in between pile 1 and 2. Thank you so much, beautiful. I always appreciate how supportive you are and how loyal you are as a client and kind of as a friend. Black egg. There's going to be truth being spoken in the near future. Somebody's going to step up. Somebody's going to stand up and express themselves. Somebody wants a new beginning in some sort of way. And somebody feels very protected in pursuing this and in expressing themselves at this time. This may be somebody that was very scared of expressing themselves in the past. They were worried about what would happen to them or what would happen to you. And maybe there's been a shift or a change where there's somebody around that they feel like maybe they're getting that intuitive nudge as well, 833, to believe that somebody that's around you will step up and protect you or keep you safe. Because maybe they felt like if they expressed what they had to say, you would be hurt in some way, 44. Or maybe somebody else that they loved would be. Some of you might actually end up like getting a absolutely beautiful new outfit or finding the perfect outfit for Halloween as well. That may seem somewhat insignificant to some people compared to all the rest of the stuff going on, but I feel like it's going to be something that really just lights you up and makes you feel so good inside, and it's going to be something that's like normal and happy and joyful, and it's just going to make you feel very good about life in that moment. For some of you, somebody's true colors is going to be being shown as well. And for some of you, you might actually get to kind of flex a bit with whatever it is that's coming into you. You might actually get to kind of flex a bit and, you know, show people what it is you've been working for this whole time and why you've been working towards it. Because people may have been very non-supportive of whatever it is that you were doing, or they could have even possibly been trying to say that you were shallow in some way, or they could have been trying to say that Yeah, you could have dealt with some gossip, some drama, some chaos with people around you. Authenticity and visibility. So you might actually, some of you might actually get to take a break away from people for a little bit and just kind of be in a place where no one knows you for a little bit, or just have some space for your energy. Freedom to be yourself. Some of you might actually feel very free to be yourself in some sort of way. Some of you could be breaking out of a shell of invisibility and really stepping firmly into the light, allowing yourself to express yourself more, wear more clothes that are a bit more flashy. Maybe in the past you wore clothes that hid you, that cloaked you in mystery, that covered all of you. Maybe extremely modest things, or just really tried to stay out of the spotlight, tried to stay away from people's eyes or ears or anything else. And some of you might actually be getting the chance to really put yourself out there and just bring forward a whole new version of yourself. And you may be feeling very safe and comfortable in doing so, where in the past you may not have felt that way. Winter, sacredness of pausing. So just to clarify and confirm, Tori, you were wanting to get your personal blessings in that question, right? So the sacredness of pausing. Some of you could be really realizing how beneficial it is to just take a break, to just enjoy yourself, to just get away. Once again, there could definitely be some of you that are constantly like in the spotlight, or constantly have people around you all the time wanting your energy, or wanting to work with you, or wanting to be around you in some way. And some of you might actually be getting to get away from that to a place where not many people know you, if any at all. And you may just be getting to relax and take some time to yourself and rest and replenish. There's definitely some blessings coming your way in the form of some rest time, though, and some time away from the crowd in some way. Some of you could have actually even had somebody release like pictures or videos of you in some way that you did not know they released, or that you didn't give them permission to release in some way. And that could have been part of the reason why you were wanting to hide away from things at points. And I feel like if that's the case, that's where that lawsuit energy is coming in. It could be a defamation of character suit, or it could be like a copyright suit, or it could be like something along those lines. I feel like a lot of you are really finding your voice in the near future, though, and expressing yourself much more clearly. Hi, Ladybug. You're welcome, sweetheart. I am so glad that you're getting some time to rest coming up then, because you know what? Being a grad student, that is a lot of work. That's a lot of time, a lot of effort, and it really is very draining at times, but it is going to be totally worth everything that you went through once you are able to celebrate your successes. And this rest and break is going to give you time to reset your mind so that you can be at your fullest potential while you're doing the work that you need to do for that as well. I can understand the not having proof one, and you know what? Till it ends up happening, there's no point in worrying over it or being anxious or fearful of it. Everything will play out in a good way for you at the end of the day if it happens to be something that is going on in your life. And it could just be that you resonate with a lot of other people who have that going on in their life, and that could be part of the reason why you've heard that message a few times too. Awesome. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that, sweetheart. I've been just slightly stressed about that this morning because I have so many things due and I don't have anything to cover any of them. So it's been And then I was just like, hey, let it go, because everything's going to be fine. And thank you. I appreciate it very much, Tori. So, let's see what your blessings are personally, Tori. That's awesome. Peacocks are pretty amazing. We have a lot of wild peacocks around here that run around in certain areas. They're pretty awesome. Definitely love them. They're very unique, very bold, colored. That's why I'm thinking that a lot of people who chose pile 1 are definitely going to be wearing more bold colors. Really doing something very striking with their appearance, maybe getting a really nice haircut, or wearing more makeup more often, or just dressing in more of a risky way than they would have in the past, or what they feel is risky. Maybe some red lipstick. Hi, Samya. Nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a little bit. It's good to see you again. You're welcome, Ladybug. So we have creating through the ashes, the veil, the future, the golden egg, and the cheetah. So the golden egg and the cheetah, you're going to be moving forward extremely quickly towards a lot of opportunities. A lot of new experiences are going to be being birthed into your life as well. You're really going to be moving at a very quick pace when it comes to upgrading your spiritual gifts too. There's something that has come to an end in your life, or soon will be. And through the ashes of this ending, through the pain or the hardness or the hardships, through the loss, through the inspiration, passionate energy, and creativity that comes up because of these feelings that you're feeling at a very deep level at this time, you're going to be really blossoming a lot of new things into life. Some of these things are even going to surprise you, because you may not have ever thought that you would be involved in certain opportunities that are going to present themselves in any way. You're going to be feeling very optimistic, very hopeful for the future. You're going to be feeling very driven and motivated. And you're going to be tapping in very strongly to your third eye and your crown chakra. So the messages that you're going to be receiving are going to be very accurate, very solid, especially when it comes to your gifts of being able to reveal the future, being able to uncover things. There may be some practices that you can do, or rituals that you can do, where taking away physical eyesight, closing your eyes or covering your eyes in some way, and allowing your intuition to guide you in some sort of way, may actually help you to tap in and tune in even more fully to some of your sixth senses. There's occasionally where I do that, where I just close my eyes and allow myself to do what I'm doing with my eyes closed and feel it, and feel my way through it. I feel like exercises like that can really increase your gifts very fully at this time. I'm gonna grab. Have courage and see yourself in nature. What's really funny, when I was pulling out all the cards for the reading this morning and laying them out, after I was done with the last pile, I went to go look at one for me, and these two fell out of the deck, and they fell out of this deck. So, not part of a deck that they're supposed to be in. And then when I just went to reach in the deck to grab you a couple cards, I had actually had these sat underneath it. But I picked them up a minute ago to shuffle them, to pull out your cards, and these were right in the middle of it where I reached into. So at this time, have courage and belief, trust in yourself. Think on the positive side and know that good things are coming. Believe in your heart and allow yourself to express your love. And there's definitely a lot of ways that you can relate yourself to. I'm glad you've been doing that. That's awesome. Awesome that you're already on that page and taking care of those things. There's a lot of ways that we can find ourselves in nature. Like when it comes to the busy bee going about its day, doing all that work to take care of its family and to provide. There's a lot of us that do that with our day. When it comes to a lion just stretching out and laying down and relaxing in the sunlight, and how good that can feel and how content they seem when they're doing that. It's amazing how just stopping and taking a rest and a break can really help that momentum build speed too. Investing in some sort of yellow or green stones may be very helpful to you too. Citrine or amber or jade, peridot, maybe even an amethyst is really going to help as well for you being able to channel your gifts. You know what, Samya? I really like that idea, and I think I'm going to do a pick-a-card on that later. So make sure you check out my channel either later tonight or tomorrow sometime. I'm going to do a pick-a-card on that one. Being bullied can be an extremely hard thing to deal with. And I feel like that is definitely a message that a lot of people, especially with some of the things that we've been going through collectively, could use some advice on. And I've dealt with so much of it myself that I've gotten pretty good at it a lot of times. Definitely not perfect at it. And there's still times that it gets to me or brings me down in ways, or there's still times that I react to it in not so good ways. But I've definitely learned a lot through the years from a lot of the things I've had to deal with like that. So your confidence is definitely going to be increasing, and you're really going to be growing a lot of beautiful things in your life. And you're going to be doing this at a very rapid rate. There's going to be a very quick speed involved in this, especially if you're stepping into your courage and taking risks along the way, because those risks are going to bring very great rewards. How things are going to pan out between you and Gabe. I will definitely do that. I'm going to do pile 2 first really quick. Just that way it's easier for the people who are looking for the piles later and putting timestamps and stuff. So it's a little more evenly spaced. And then we will answer your question, beautiful. It's nice to see you today too, Moonlight. Moonlight it. You know what? Some days I'm going to call you Moonlightic, and some days I'm going to call you Moonlight I See. You're welcome, Samya. So pile 2, for you guys, what blessings are going to be coming in the near future? Some of you are going to get to take a vacation, like a really fun vacation, maybe even to a theme park or to a resort. Some of you may actually be going to a Comic-Con event or something like that. Some of you, it could be like Disney World or Disneyland. Some of you could be getting the keys to a new home. So some of you could actually be moving. Some of you could be forming greater bonds with your same-sex friends, or maybe even greater bonds with your children. I'm having a pretty good day, Moonlight. I hope you're having a good day too. Whiter's Cider. Some of you could actually be like moving away from drinking, or somebody around you that maybe drank fairly heavily is going to be moving away from drinking, and it's going to be non-alcoholic beverages from now forward. Cycles are going to be coming to a close, and new beginnings are going to be happening for you. You're going to be running into the keys to be able to create new opportunities and to be able to let go of the past and allow it to fall away in a way that makes room for new beginnings to come in. I really like this rock. It's pretty awesome. X marks the spot. X marks the spot with a circle and a dot. So some of you could actually be finding like a hidden treasure. Not like a pirate going out and finding a hidden treasure, but you know, and maybe, who knows, somebody could actually be like digging in their yard or something because they're like adding a structure to their yard, and there ends up being something buried under there that ends up being very valuable or just really cool. But it could also be that you could be finding something that has sat around you for years. You might actually be finding out the value of it is very high. Or you could be finding something that you lost years ago. You may be stumbling across it somehow, and it may be something that really means a lot to you. And you could have thought it was gone forever, but it's going to be something that comes back into your life like that. Some of you guys are going to be really receiving a lot of love in the near future. A lot of unconditional love. Some of you might actually be opening up about something that you've been going through that you haven't let others in on. And you might be realizing that the people around you are a lot more accepting of you than you thought they were going to be. A lot more forgiving, a lot more understanding. So you could have been a whole lot harder on yourself than anybody else is going to be about whatever this is. If there's something that you're needing to express to the people around you, or bring out into the open, or come out of the closet on. Your love life's going to be very protected in the near future. You're going to be finding a lot of blessings in love in the near future. And this is after something dramatic happened to break something apart, or to cause something to fall away or be delayed. There could have been some pretty heavy obstacles going on in some way. And those things are going to be, the roadblocks are going to be cleared up. And there's going to be some pretty good opportunities going on in love, and some pretty good things going on in love. Some of you might actually be getting asked to go out on a date. There's going to be some very close ties that are going to be withstanding something very harsh. Something that you may have thought was going to rip things apart, but it isn't. We have this snowflake. Some of you may be realizing a unique ability or gift that you have that maybe in the past you thought was just a normal everyday thing, but you're all of a sudden going to be realizing, wow, this isn't something that everybody can do. This is something that's like special to me. You may be noticing more of your special traits in general, and really enjoying yourself and the differences that you have. In the past, you might have viewed differences as a bad thing, but I feel like your view and your perception on your differences from the world around you is going to shift into a more positive perspective, where you're really seeing a lot of the differences that you have, or the differences that others around you have, as unique, beautiful, amazing, something to cherish and something to value, and not something to be hated. We all have differences, it's plain to see. We all have differences, even me. There's a song called, or a poem called We All Have Differences on StoryTime. You can find a link for that in the description box below. And especially for you, Samya, that is one about bullying too. And so that can definitely help you to be able to see yourself in a higher light, and to be able to deal with how you see the others who have hurt you in some way. You're welcome, Tori. Thank you as well. I don't know how I missed that one. But somehow I missed that. comment on there. There's a broken Christmas tree here. So there could have been something that happened in the past at Christmas time. Something that really hurt you, cut you very deeply, caused you a lot of pain. It could have even ruined the holiday for you in some sort of way. Could have even been something where you were left alone on Christmas and the people that you loved disappeared or didn't show up or forgot about you in some way. There could have been a lot going on or whatever the case may be. But I feel like your heart is healing after this pain that you went through in the past. You're gaining more confidence and you're feeling very optimistic about this holiday season coming up. And it's been a long time since you felt optimistic or joyful about the holiday season. This year, though, you're really going to be feeling good about it. You might even be making stuff for the holiday season, or like making decorations or making food, or wrapping gifts and putting up a tree and really getting into that holiday spirit over the next couple months. There may even be a surprise coming through as well, where someone might actually try to attempt to make up 33 for something in the past. Maybe something neglectful they did, or something they did without even thinking, or something that happened that was out of their control, but still they feel really guilty for whatever may have happened and why you're hurting over the holiday season. And so they might actually be attempting to make amends in some way or surprise you in some way. For some of you, they might actually be surprising you with like a vacation during the holiday, or a hotel room during the holiday, to just get away and have some peace and quiet for you. That could be it too. Maybe even like a massage or a spa day or something that somebody could be gifting you. Hi Rishima, nice to see you, beautiful. Hawk, the snake, ancestors, the love and legacy of our DNA, 44. Celebrations are going to be coming up for you. Celebrations of a well-earned and fought for, solid, stable, strong foundation. A foundation that you have built with blood, sweat, and tears. Something that's extremely strong, that won't be able to be broken, that's very protected. And there could have been a lot of sacrifices you had to make, or there could have been a lot of compromising you had to do. There could have been a lot of just hurt and pain along this road, and hardship and despair. But you're going to be celebrating because all of it was worth it in the end. Nice to see you, Kirsika. I am not sure how to say that, and I'm sure I'm butchering it really badly. But it is nice to see you again. Jack-o'-lantern, protection. Once again, being very protected. And you know what this is reminding me of too? The jack-o'-lantern with the protection, and it's got the Kurska. Okay, that makes sense. The jack-o'-lantern off Halloween Town. And I actually only own 2 movies on YouTube that I've bought. One of them is The Color Purple, and one of them is Halloween Town. I love that movie. The entire town was turning dark because the light had went out. And when they light the light within the pumpkin, that's one of the symbolisms of pumpkins. That's one of the reasons why they lit the light in the pumpkins, is because it's a dark time of the year. And the veil is thinned, and the spiritual world is kind of colliding with the physical realm, and there's monsters out and about and things like that. But lighting that light inside that pumpkin, it's kind of like having a scarecrow in your garden, where it scares off that dark energy, and the light shines and makes the shadows recede. So there's going to be a lot of light shining in your life. Oh, nice. Thank you. That's good to know. I love Halloween too. It's definitely one of my more favorite holidays, although it wars very fully with every other holiday just about. I really like Christmas and Thanksgiving too, and Valentine's Day. 4th of July is pretty good, but those are my main favorite ones. And sometimes it's hard to decide which one's at the top of that totem pole because, Cancer here. I love holidays, especially when it comes to spending time with family and comfort food. And, it was an extremely hard year before last when I spent it alone. Well, almost alone. My friend Richard, who passed away this last year, was kind of like a street dad a little bit. I cooked dinner and me and him took it over to the gas station across the way. We took plates to the other gas stations and then we went over there and ate with her because she didn't have any family around here either to be able to do anything with. And he was living on the street like I was, and none of his family was talking to him at the time like me. So we all sat and had our dinner together for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So sometimes when things like that are going wrong, we can take the actions to still create a joyous time if we don't fall into that despair and that hopelessness. Because I could have just as easily fell into a depressed, suicidal type of energy or something like that. And instead I decided I'm going to do something to make sure that I still have a good Christmas and Thanksgiving, because I know that that's something that's extremely important to me. And I know that I'm not going to be doing very good mental health wise if I don't do something for it. And so I made my own damn Christmas and Thanksgiving, regardless of whether or not I was going to be able to have one with those that I love. Some of you may be getting recognition for being able to do things like that in your own life as well. Yeah, I can definitely understand that being a reason why it's a favorite holiday too, being a witch. All Hallows Eve. Do you do the bonfire rituals and stuff like that? So a lot of you might actually be finding something out about your DNA or your family history as well. You may be finding something out about your roots or where you come from. You might be finding something out about your genes. There may be somebody actually finding something out about their children's DNA or something like that too. Or maybe where their parents came from. Some of you may not have actually even known one of your parents, and you might actually be meeting one of your parents. Gotcha. You know what? My youngest daughter absolutely loves fire. She's 12. She loves fire. Loves it. Like, as much as I've ever loved fire in my life. And I had a freaking lighter when I was 4 years old. I had a knife when I was 4 years old. My kids have had those things too at a very young age, and other people were really upset about it. But I was like, you know what? The reason why there's so many accidents with things like that these days is because parents don't give them to their kids. Parents don't sit down and teach them how to use them or how to respect them. They don't take the time out to help them understand. And instead, they just restrict them from access to it and tell them it's dangerous and not to be around it. And then guess what? What do? They want to find out for themselves. And since nobody will show them and nobody will help them with it, they end up doing something stupid like taking it off by themselves and figuring out how to use it by themselves. And sometimes it goes good. I figured out how to use a lot of things by myself as a kid. A lot of things because I was alone a lot. But a lot of times that's how accidents happen, because they're not taught the safety procedures. They're not taught how to respect things or how to use them. But the place she gets to kind of play with the fire a little bit more is at my house or with me. because a lot of other people don't necessarily want her using it. I'm doing good, beautiful. I hope you're doing good too. So you're going to be seeing things from a much higher perspective. You're going to be connecting dots and you're going to be putting things together. There may even be some cycles from the past that you're putting together, or some cycles that have repeated throughout your life or throughout your family history. You're going to be shedding the skin of the old, letting go of the past, allowing those things to fall away, and you're really going to be striking out on a new beginning in some way. And you're going to be feeling very protected in doing this as well. Some of you might actually even be delving into your DNA. Some of you may have been adopted, or some of you could have actually been having some things about the possibility of like being kidnapped or something like that coming up, and you may be delving into your history, your DNA, really looking for family members and things like that, and feeling safe in doing so. There may have been a reason why you might have been scared about doing it in the past, but you're no longer going to be scared about it. Yes, it is. I have 4 of them in here. There is 4 dogs in here. That one is a blue nose pit. I'm pretty sure is the one that you're seeing. She's the baby. And her name's Angel. And then there's the black lab that's back there, and he's pretty old, although he's the newest one to our household. And his name's Hank. He's the only boy we got. And then I got Sadie and Princess, which are my 2 little Jack Russell Chihuahuas. They're my little door alarms. And I've had them the longest. I've had Sadie for about 7 years and Princess for about 4 years. They're my family. Clearing ancestral traumas out. Then pile 2 is definitely a good pile for you. I love dogs too. I love animals in general, but yes, I do really love dogs too. Although I will say it would be nice to find a different home for the older one, because he's too old to be living like this. He's too old for the constant dramatic shifts in temperature, and for jumping in and out of this vehicle every day to go to the bathroom and stuff like that. He hurts a lot, and he has a hard time moving around a bit, and he's really fucking heavy. He's like the same size as me. So it would be kind of nice to be able to find him a new home where he could, you know, have a nice bed and just chill and be able to walk out a door like a normal animal living as a pet. Not like a normal animal necessarily, or even a normal human, because they live in so many different ways, but you know what I mean. So that's what I got for pile 2, guys. You guys got a lot of good blessings coming your way, and you're really going to be finding out a lot about yourself. And there's going to be a lot of good experiences coming your way as well. A lot of news going to be coming in. And you're going to be letting go of a lot of the past pain and hurt. So, Moonlight. How are things going to pan out between you and Gabe? How are things going to pan out between you and Gabe? So, we have blind spots. I'm glad you're going to be listening to it later, and I hope you have a good day, beautiful. Eternal love. Love is love is love, and it transcends physical death. Oyster and the elk. So, I have a feeling that things have ended between you, or there's just a lot of distance between you right now, and things are kind of gaining distance, like breaking apart in some way. But this is a very unconditional love. Exactly. You needed some time apart because you just couldn't see him not romantically. Gotcha. Yeah. It's really hard to do sometimes, to set aside your romantic feelings or even your sexual desires for somebody and just be friends. 55. Although that is definitely the best thing that you can do. I've done that myself a couple times. Although there has been some times in the past where I've had some issues myself with separating it because we were such close friends that it kind of blurred those lines. The song Blurred Lines just popped through my mind too as I said that. I can't do these blurred lines. And it doesn't matter what distance is there. That love you feel, you're still going to feel. And that love that he feels for you, he's still going to feel. Even if it's not the same kind of love that you have for him, he's still going to feel that love too. I'm sure he does know that, especially if you explained it to him. There's no reason to feel guilty about that. There's no reason to need to distance yourself from somebody because it's causing you too much pain to be around them. There's nothing wrong with that. Last year on my birthday, I actually decided to move away from somebody where that same issue was kind of going on. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. It's just too much. You know how I feel about you. You don't feel the same. And yet these lines are going to continually get blurred because as much as I'd like a relationship from you, you'd like sex from me. And so we're just not wanting the same things from each other. For your own peace of mind, for your own stability, and for your own mental health sometimes, you have to move away from things like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But regardless of whether or not you move away from it, you're still going to be feeling the love. So you're still going to have to deal with those emotions, and you're still going to have to sort through and work through the pain that can come with it when there is a unrequited love. You have a lot of wisdom within you, and you've handled this situation in a very stable way. You've handled this situation very maturely. I definitely feel like this person is somebody that would protect you. If they felt like you needed protecting, they would be there to protect you. This person may also have a lot going on within themselves that they are not letting anyone see. This person sees you as a very beautiful person, very wise and very strong. And they see you as wanting to protect your energy. They understand why you'd need to do that as well. The blind spots. I'm going to pull an extra card for the blind spots card. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean on that front. Not hating them or resenting them, but your heart's been through it. And you know what? That's half the battle right there. Because a lot of times when somebody doesn't return the love people feel, they can get into a very hate-filled energy, or they could get into a very angry energy. And a lot of times that's because they don't want to feel those more deep, vulnerable, hurtful, painful feelings. They don't want to be crying about it. They don't want to be constantly thinking about it and constantly feeling all of that. And so instead, they get into this angry stance. But underneath the hate, the anger, the jealousy, the pain, any of it is love. And the fact that you know that, and the fact that you're dealing with that, and you're admitting it to yourself, all of those things are very important things, because all of those things are going to help in the long run. Exactly. Grace, Panther, which is reminding me of, there was a person in the past that I actually told him he reminded me of a panther. And you may be finding some things out about this person that you're not going to like in the near future. There may have been some manipulation tactics going on there. There may have been some, like, reeling you in some sort of way, kind of playing with your emotions in some sort of way. And I hate to say that because this is your friend. But there's going to be some sort of shocking revelations coming to you in the future about these blind spots that you've had with this person because of the love that you feel for them. You may have overlooked some of the things that they were doing in this situation. But you're really handling things in a very stable fashion. And what you're doing is very important for you to be doing at this time. Because you are taking care of yourself, choosing you, deciding that when it comes to a relationship and where you're placing your love and where you're placing your heart, that you want to be placing it somewhere that is protected, cherished, loved, and returned. And that you're not wanting to keep this energy around, blocking out love in the future from other areas. And it doesn't matter what has happened or what this person has done, because that love that you have for them is very unconditional. So even if you do find these things out, remind yourself of that. Don't hate yourself. Don't hate them. And really, there's a lot of times that people do things like that for various different reasons. And it's not necessarily always malicious intent behind it or the intent to hurt you in some way. A lot of times it's their own pain or their own past that they're dealing with or their own situations that they're dealing with, or they're busy loving someone that isn't loving them back in return, just like you are with them. And since they aren't getting the time or attention or love from that direction, it's good to get it from somewhere, you know? And he might regret not choosing you, but that was his choice. And you had to choose you. Somebody had to choose you. And yes, it does hurt that this person may hurt about it in the future, but you're hurting about it now. And what's more important at this moment in time is dealing with your own pain, dealing with your own wants and desires, and allowing yourself to heal and move forward, regardless of whether or not this person may at some point in the future decide they want you. By the time they do, you may not even want them again, or you may not even want them back. And that sounds awful right now, especially since it'll hurt them, but also because your heart is so fully connected to them at this time. But hindsight is 20/20, and it's amazing sometimes how blessed we are by not getting what we asked for or what we wished for. Because it could have been a whole hell of a lot different than what we were imagining inside of our heads it was going to be. I am so glad that you can say that, sweetheart. That's more than most people can say, especially at the beginning of dealing with a situation like that. So, you know what? You're doing really good with the situation. And I feel like you are definitely on the right path. You know what you're doing. And you got this handled. So, Michelle, how can you feel better about telling jokes? Because you're not a funny person, but you're exploring. You know what? Everybody's funny in their own way. And I feel like you've had somebody in your past that has told you you're not funny, that has refused to laugh at your jokes, that has made you feel in some way inferior in that. But I don't think you're as bad about it as you think you are. You're welcome, Moonlight. So, you did all you could, and there's only so much we can do. Before I answer your question, Michelle, I just wanted to say what was popping into my mind immediately. I'm going to do pile 3's blessings, and then we will hit your question. So, pile 3. For you guys, what are your blessings coming in the near future? Some of you might be taking a self-defense class. Some of you might be going to an animal training thing with your animals, or training them more fully yourself, getting some time to work with them. Some of you could be alerting either authorities or alerting another person to the violent nature of somebody, especially if you've been sexually abused in some way. Blowing the whistle on someone. So someone may be having the whistle blown on them in some way. Someone may be having to take accountability. Someone might be narking someone out in some way, or exposing the truth about someone in some way. Someone has gained a lot of confidence and they're ready to fight back in some way. We have AutoZone rewards. 91 08 00 it's magic, you know. 57 and 35 22 09. Somebody could have been born in 2009. 69 04. There could be somebody who's a repeat offender and one of their victims is finally coming forward with something that they've done. Thank you, beautiful. I really appreciate that. I haven't been able to be as close to my kids as I would have liked over the last couple years. But my entire life, I've kind of been like the mom friend to everyone, even when I was a kid. And so, you know, I have my surrogate kids, and you guys are kind of like my kids in ways, as much as you feel that way about me. That's how I feel about a lot of the people that I work with. There could be something about your car or your vehicle getting repaired. Customer service. 79 41 91 807. There could be a language barrier that comes up for some of you, and it's going to be a blessing because it may give you the chance to really explore a new language and kind of develop some skills in it. You're going to be feeling very motivated, and I feel like a lot of this motivation and this inspiration is going to be coming from someone who reaches out to help you in some way, or being able to afford to do something that you haven't been able to do. Someone may even be getting awarded in this pile as well for some of the good deeds that they've done for people that they really haven't asked for much in return for. The real reason why dinosaurs became extinct. Magnet. I have some of the weirdest, most random shit inside this charm bag sometimes. Wood chips, fragrance, pumpkin. Somebody could be getting a pumpkin, or somebody could be getting to do something really fun for Halloween. Some of you might be getting to smoke some meat as well. If somebody here is a hunter or a fisherman, you might actually be getting a really large catch, or, getting a, prize elk or something. Pumpkin spice lattes. I don't know if I would like those or not. So far, the only pumpkin drink I've tried is that pumpkin milkshake from Arctic Circle, and it literally tastes like you are drinking a pumpkin. Like a pumpkin you're carving, though, not like a pumpkin pie. I don't know. I don't like it. It's gross. I love pumpkin pie. It's like one of my favorite things on the planet. But I don't like any of the drinks I've tried so far. Ugh. So Somebody's bad habits may be catching up to them in some sort of way. Some of you could actually be accepting your own bad habits too and telling people, look, you know what? You've been judging me on my bad habits, but you have your own bad habits and you're killing yourself in your own ways, just like everybody else is. So until you're perfect, leave me alone with my own bad habits. So some of you might be getting some very strong confidence when it comes to standing up for yourself and standing up for the things that you do, even if those things could be considered as shadow things. Because you're sick of people judging you for yours when they have their own too. I might try one at some point, maybe. Maybe. We'll see. Greasy, sugary. Somebody could be having some issues with like what they're eating, or somebody could have some issues with smoking. Wacky Pack from Sonic. Somebody's going to be taking a risk because this looks like, it reminds me of like a little poker chip and a poker face. Somebody might be bluffing their way through something and you might succeed. Fake it till you make it. People will tell you fake it till you make it. That is not my advice for you, by the way. 25. Because you can fake it all you like, but that doesn't mean that you're actually feeling it, or that you're actually there, or that you're actually doing the work necessary to get there. Sometimes you get lost in the mask. And so putting in the hard work, effort, and time to get the real results is so much better. And some of you might actually be finding out that somebody has been putting on that mask and hasn't been doing as good as they've been trying to claim they are when it comes to certain things. But yet they've been all over your case or all over your back for things that you've been doing. 2016 could have been something that started about 7 years ago. Or there could have been something that happened 7 years ago that you may be finding out about in some way. Some of you may be getting ready to take a trip to and go on vacation. Some of you might actually be getting ready to go to Mexico for some reason. Because the Spanish on the back of that AutoZone card really caught my eye. And then this is actually a coin from Mexico. Estados Unidos Mexicano. There may be something about the Mayan culture as well. You might actually be going to like Mexico or South America and kind of going to some of the rune sites or something like that. Some of you are going to be removing the snakes from your life in some way, defeating some sort of snake in your life, standing tall, getting the respect that you deserve, the recognition that you deserve. Some of you have acted with a lot of honor and integrity, a lot of dignity. And that's also part of what could be exposing these snakes. Snakes in the Grass by King T. Really good song. Snakes in the grass. Had to cut that shit short. They've been here too long. Ja Rule. And for some reason when I said that, I wanted to say Ja Rule. Some of you could be getting ready to go to a concert as well. Some of you are getting ready to put a stop to something, definitely. We have this little clapping hand. Some of you are going to be patting yourself on the back for how good you've done in a certain situation, China. Some of you are definitely going to be traveling to different areas or different cultures, or kind of delving into different cultures or different ways that people live their lives. And it's going to broaden your perspectives and lessen your judgment, give you more of an open mind. And it could be that some of the people around you are doing that as well. And it's causing them to step out of that judgmental energy and into one more of open-mindedness and acceptance, love, and respect. People could be clapping for you for some reason. Some of you might actually be overcoming some sort of bad habit as well that you've been dealing with. We have this swan looking in the mirror.
You're going to be handling the things that are going on around you with grace, dignity. You're going to be very poised in a certain situation. You're going to remain very calm, and your feathers are not going to get ruffled by something going on. You're going to be able to examine it and look deeper than the surface. I feel like a lot of you've worked very hard to reduce your triggers when it comes to dealing with certain people or situations. We also have this tiger. Yeah, you've been accepting and integrating your shadow and your light side. You're stepping into your power and taking it back from the hands of others. You're listening to your instincts, your intuition, and you are really loving yourself regardless. You're loving that masculine side of yourself, that feminine side of yourself, that light side of yourself, that shadow side of yourself. You're loving the duality. And as you do this, you're going to love the people around you much more fully and accept them much more fully too. You're going to come into a more forgiving, understanding state and a much less judgmental state when it comes to dealing with the people around you and when it comes to dealing with yourself. Zombie, control. Some of you might be finding out about the control tactics that somebody was using, or somebody could actually be getting 35 exposed on the control tactics that they were using. Somebody might have been actually using something very important to you, maybe even your children, or maybe some sort of abuse, or maybe some sort of habit that you have that's not a very good habit against you in some way to make you feel like you would not be able to achieve what you were looking to achieve, or to make you feel like they could take something from you if you made the wrong move. And you're going to be gaining confidence and clarity. And you're going to be realizing this person has their skeletons too. And you could expose them at any time if you want to. So this person also needs to remember, 45, that you are quite capable of doing that too, if they want to play that game. The witch, the earthly weaver of the worlds. For some of you, this could be a religious thing too, where somebody may be very judgmental of your religion or what your beliefs are. Somebody could have been severely abusing their power, their spiritual gifts, their magic, and trying to control you in some way. And if that's the case, this person may be getting their gifts removed in some way, or their blessings removed in some way. Someone might have been abusing their position of power and authority over you as well, and this position may be stripped from them when they're exposed for what they've been doing. Some of you may be coming out of a trance-like state and taking power or control back in your life. For some of you, somebody around you could be coming out of that and taking back that power and control in their own life. Maybe this is somebody that you thought was under some sort of spell in some way, or spiritual warfare, or maybe this is somebody that you thought was being puppeted and manipulated by somebody around them. This person may actually be gaining their power back and taking their life back and deciding to expose somebody for the things that they've been doing. You might have actually inspired this behavior in somebody if that's the case as well, because they may have watched you do this in the past. And even if that's not the case, somebody watching you do this in the current moment, if it's you, is going to be inspired by it in the future, and they're going to follow that lead. And so you may be being asked to let go and allow those people to live the way they want to live for the moment, even if you're worried about them being in that position, because they're making that choice and you can't force them to do anything. Otherwise, you're just as bad as this other person. And move forward and show them how it's done so that they can follow your footsteps out of that darkness. Glad that's resonating. So, that's pretty much what I got for pile 3, guys. Really appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for everything you do to support this channel. The likes, shares, comments, subscribes, timestamps, donations, purchases, anything you guys do to support me on my path helps me to be able to be here to support you on yours. So thank you guys so much for that. It's not just for you, it's also for the other people that are here as well when you do things like that. And we are going to get into Michelle's question up here. How can you feel better about telling jokes? Because you're not a funny person, but you're exploring the comedic arts. You know what? For years, I think this is why it popped into my head so strongly. For years, my ex-husband, he tells a lot of really cheesy jokes, but you know what? I find most jokes funny. I have a very, very large sense of humor, and I come by it naturally because you know what? If my mom starts laughing, you can probably hear her from a block away. It's kind of hyena-like, actually. I never really thought about that with my mom. There was somebody I told in the past that they reminded me of a hyena, and that's a lot of the reason why they did, because they laughed so much, and they really got into that laughter, and they really got into the jokes and things like that. So, my ex-husband, I laughed at all of his jokes and, all that kind of stuff. He never laughed at any of my jokes. And actually, he kind of, like, overly critically analyzed them and just, said things like, really? Okay? Or things like that, where, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of it, I don't know if it was intentionally done or what, but there's a lot of times that people, the way that they respond to what you're doing can really tear you down and make you feel less than in some way. And I feel like that could be part of the problem you might be having with it. There may also be the need to tap into your inner child more and allow yourself to just have fun and enjoy life. And as you have that fun and enjoy that life, and as you have that smile on your face and you're really getting into what's going on around you, you'll start to notice that a lot of that funny just kind of bubbles up and out of you. I don't know if anybody on here has noticed, but sometimes when I'm in that more childlike energy, there's a lot of times where I start laughing at a lot of shit. Or cracking some jokes occasionally too. Although there's a lot of seriousness on this channel because it's a lot about like healing and stuff like that. But there's a lot of moments in between where it kind of breaks it up and gets a bit more fun sometimes. And that's kind of what you need to tap into, is that more childlike state. With the otter here especially. The otter came out, and the otter is about being playful, enjoying yourself, having fun with it. And right now what it's making me think of is it's peanut butter jelly time, peanut butter jelly time. Maybe even watching some of your, some of the cartoons you really liked as a kid might help you as well to kind of get into that energy. Maybe even finding a couple comedians that you really enjoy and kind of listening to them. Maybe even making some jokes playing off of whatever they're talking about. There's a different type of humor that many different types of people like. And every type of humor isn't for everyone. And that could be part of the reason why my ex was like that too. But every type of humor isn't for everyone. So not everyone is going to find what you have to say funny, but there will be people who do. And one of the bigger things that matter too is whether or not you find yourself funny. Because if you find yourself funny, then you're laughing at yourself, you're enjoying it, you're having a good time, and a lot of other people are getting enjoyment out of it and laughing and having a good time. That energy spreads. Thank you, Moonlight. You might be a little bit afraid, anxious, nervous, worried. You may feel very small in this area. Like you were saying, you don't feel like you're very funny at all, but you're kind of trying to look into the comedic arts. You're feeling like a beginner in this. or maybe even overshadowed by someone around you in some way. Maybe a little anxious or nervous or worried about possibly the change up in your personality or in the way that you're acting around others, or maybe even nervous or worried about speaking in front of others or expressing some of the jokes that you're coming up with in front of others. And a lot of that comes from worrying about what they're going to think, whether or not they're going to like it, whether or not they're going to be okay with it, whether or not it's going to be something that's well received, whether or not they're going to find it funny. And it can be so hard to pull yourself away from worrying what other people think and pull yourself back to that enjoying yourself energy. Enjoying yourself, and what do you think? Are you enjoying it? Is it something you'd laugh at? Is it something that you relate to? Because it's much easier to be able to do those things when it is. So kind of stepping out of your comfort zone and also being able to face things head on. It's funny that this tiny little mouse here, if he ran up on an elephant, that elephant would lose its shit. That elephant wouldn't even know what to do. Because elephants are extremely afraid of mice. And a lot of that reason is because mice can actually like get up inside their trunk, I guess. But I bet it makes this mouse feel really brave to know that. Because there's probably not too many things that are afraid of mice. Most things are probably trying to eat a mouse, like this owl here. So you may be in a very serious energy a lot of times. Like very serious because of the wisdom and knowledge that you have. You may be somebody who's considered an old soul. You may be somebody who's gone through a lot in your life and learned a lot from it. You may be somebody who advises people on a regular basis and who's just in that very mature energy, that very wise energy, that very responsible energy a lot of times. And sometimes it can be really hard to break yourself out of that and to just enjoy life and get into that more childlike energy and feel everything going on around you. But with everything that you've gone through in your life and all the wisdom and knowledge and understanding that you've picked up about a lot of things, you know, you can actually take that healing and that gift that you have with that wisdom and knowledge and those blessings that you have of learning those things along the way and the understandings that you have, and you can put that into your comedy and make healing fun, enjoyable, funny even. There was one time where we were playing Cards Against Humanity, and I was playing it with people that were like 5-6 years younger than me. It was a group of like 6 people, and me and this other girl, we kept doing ones that had something to do with pedophilia because for some reason it just kept coming up. And everybody else there, we could tell that it was the other person that did it because everybody else there is like, oh my God, that is so horrible. Why would anybody make that joke? And me and her are cracking up. Not everybody's going to like your style. Not everybody's going to like what you have to say or what you're going to be joking about. But that's okay. You're not here for everybody to like you. You're here to find your peoples, and your peoples to find you. And they can't do that if you're hiding those parts of yourself. Finally, I was like, you know what? In case you guys are wondering, as you're making us feel bad, mostly her, because she was getting really self-conscious about the jokes she was making, I was like, we are the 2 people in this room that were molested. So I think we are the ones who should get to decide whether or not those jokes are funny. And we're the ones that are making those jokes because nobody else here is making those jokes because they're feeling like somehow it's going to offend us if people are talking about things like that, or hurt us if people are talking about things like that. And people want to hide things like that or cover them up or bury them. But being able to talk about them out in the open and being able to put some light energy on it and being able to laugh about it and get something good out of it is something that can come from those things, especially when it comes to comedy. It may even be a good idea to play something like Cards Against Humanity with a couple of your friends, or maybe like set up a game night at your local library or something to where people can come in and play Cards Against Humanity or something, because then you can kind of practice your own jokes and kind of have other people practicing jokes and everybody kind of enjoying themselves all at the same time with that comedy energy. Cauldron, synergy and healing. I really went into that one very deeply and spent a lot of time on this question, but you know what? I really felt like you needed to have that confidence boost with what you're doing, and I felt like there's a lot of people who could probably really use these messages too. I just felt like you could really use a bit more on that one than normal. So Cauldron, synergy and healing. Once again, like I was saying, it's amazing how much laughter heals the soul and heals the heart and heals the wounds. So taking those things that hurt and those things that bring you pain and those things that bring trauma and being able to give it that lighthearted energy, that playful energy, being able to take it away from being so serious and so heavy all the time into something that's lighter and something that's a lot less serious is something that's really going to be very beneficial in your comedy skills, because when it comes to things like that, do what you know. And what you know is pain and hardship and hurt and trauma and abuse. So those are the things that you know. And it's really hard sometimes to figure out how you're supposed to be a comedian when that's what you've known in your life. But you can take that and make it comedy. As long as you aren't getting offended about those things, and as long as you're not worried about the people that are getting offended by it, and as long as you can, let them know that you aren't trying to offend them or hurt them, you've been through some of those things too. But you've also learned how to heal through that expression. And so do a lot of other people. So if they don't like it, they don't have to listen to it. But you're not going to stop doing it. So that's what I have for you, beautiful. And I really hope you guys all enjoyed this reading today. Thank you guys so much for your purchases today. Anybody who donated or anybody that liked, shared, commented, subscribed, anything like that, thank you guys so much for that. I really appreciate you and all the support you send my way. It helps me to be able to support myself, as I'm here to support you guys on your path. So it really does make a far bigger difference than you know, just doing those little things. And I really appreciate you. I hope you guys have a beautiful night or day, guys.